Hope everyone's having a great day. This is Jillian Miller, one of the chairs of the Blues and Barbecue Festival. We're glad you're tuning in. I've got Guy Goldsmith. He's the Parks Director for City of North Liberty joining me now. Hi, Guy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. I wish we were all in the park today, but you know, it is what it is. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe.
So can you introduce yourself a little bit, Guy, for our listeners? How long you've been with the city and when you got involved with Blues and Barbecue?
Yes, I've been with the city since 1997, so I've been with Blues and Barbecue from the very beginning. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it all began back in 2006 after we designed and completed the Liberty Center pond beautification and improvements project. We decided that it was time to highlight and celebrate this wonderful city achievement. So we wanted a family-friendly event that would bring the community together while enjoying and promoting the all-new Liberty Center area. And that is how Liberty Center Blues and Barbecue was born.
So it was only meant to be that one time, right?
I could say at the time there was discussion that it may be a one-time event only, but it was so well received that we had to try it a second year, and here we are 14 years later.
Wow. Yeah, this would be the 14th year today in the park, and we'll still count it as year 14, even though it looks different. For those that have recently moved to the area or just started paying attention to Blues and Barbecue in the past couple of years, they may never know that it has moved around locations. So, you know, Guy, as it's moved, what are the different locations it's been at, and how has that changed your work and for your department prepping for the event?
Well, it's been at a couple different locations at Liberty Center. It started out off of Cherry Street, and then it moved over closer to Community Drive. The event just kept growing, and we kept losing space, and so we had to keep going where we had more area. So eventually it moved to Centennial Park, which really brought in a lot more people and a lot more work. Yeah.
Was that 2014? Would this have been I was trying to think, this would have been, I think, the sixth event.
Yeah.
Sixth event in Centennial. Yeah. So what does the work look like to get a park, regardless of location, but now for Centennial Park, ready for Blues?
We actually began prepping Centennial Park months ahead of time. And what I mean by that is we are doing maintenance things to promote turf health. Since the area will see hundreds and hundreds of cars that will be parked on site, as well as support vehicle traffic and pedestrian traffic, the turf grass really takes a beating.
Yeah.
So we are doing a lot of behind-the-scenes things well in advance. Now, the week leading up to Blues and Barbecue, Parks employees are making sure Centennial Park is looking its best. We're manicuring the turf, touching up all the landscape areas, mulching trees, and anything else that needs to be done as far as beautification of Centennial Park. Then after that, we move right into doing things to prepare for the event. For example, helping out with layout of the event, fencing in areas that need fencing, signage, electrical needs, turf parking lot prep, and anything grounds related we do. During the event, our main objective is to safely park cars, answer questions, and direct people in the right direction. We also provide maintenance to anything that needs a little bit of TLC that day.
Yeah. Well, it certainly wouldn't be possible to pull off the event without the parks crew. I mean, from the things you're doing behind the scenes months leading up to, you know, even helping us clean up, you know, the next day, it just wouldn't happen without, you know, you've got six full-time employees that you have on your team?
Yeah, we have 6 full-time and between 12 and 15 seasonal staff every year. And they're all here all day long, working, directing traffic, answering questions. We actually send some of the workers down to North Bend Elementary to help direct traffic down there. We just all over the place.
You do it all. You guys pound all those stakes in too for all of that fencing that includes the stage and beverage garden area. And you know, if it's really hot leading up to the event, sometimes that ground is not easy to stake things into by any means.
Sometimes it does get a little hard.
You know, there's even, you know, one of my favorite things that I have a memory of with your crew was, what were the bugs? Were they just June bugs, or it was some sort of bug that you guys were luring away from the park?
Yeah, one year in particular, the Japanese beetle was very prevalent, and they were just getting into everything. They were just flying across Centennial Park. So we went and purchased a bunch of Japanese beetle traps just to lure them away from the area, and it did help some.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
was just like, these are the behind the scenes stories people don't realize, to make sure it's enjoyable for the crowd to sit on their blankets and listen to music. Days beforehand, you got traps on the back of the trucks leading them away from the park. Oh, gosh,
Yeah.
I love it. So, Guy, what do you think makes Blues and Barbecue so special for the community?
It's the great committee members, for one. There hasn't been a year gone by where we haven't had an outstanding and enthusiastic committee. Without them, we wouldn't pull it off. I enjoyed the people, the families. We get to talk with so many different people while we are parking cars. The atmosphere, the music. It is just a well-rounded event, and I'm proud to have my place at this event.
Awesome. Well, I guess we did just talk about the setup of the event. I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to add maybe about cleanup. That is something people wouldn't expect.
Sure. So we have a lot of wonderful volunteer folks that come out on Sunday to finish up what we haven't been able to take care of the night before. Mm-hmm. We are mainly concentrating on fence removal, signage, and barricade removal, and picking up chairs and tables from under the tent so the tent company can easily take them back down. There's also some trash, but honestly, people do a pretty good job of picking up after themselves. I really believe it is because it's a family event and people are truly taking pride in North Liberty. It's really a great feeling, actually.
Yeah, it is. It is really awesome when you're walking through in the morning and you're like, how is there not more trash on the ground? Everyone's taking really good care. I think the biggest problem could be if we had bad weather and you've got to deal with that turf, like you said, the grass could get pretty torn up. And then that's just kind of a healing process for that. Well, thanks for giving us your insight. We are ending all of our committee interviews today asking what track everyone wants to hear next. So is there a certain song you want us to play?
Sure. How about Got My Mojo Working by Muddy Waters?
Okay, you got it. Let's do it.